Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Ms. Bridgewater.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us when the SAP reset date is, please?
The 27th of February.
Okay, thank you. And let's see, where would you all like to begin, courtroom two?
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. How you doing, sir?
No, Norris, I'm well. I hope you are too. Sorry, we're starting a little late today.
No, it's okay. We're gonna start with Miss Ayana McCall, and that's gonna be position 11.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. McCall. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Ms. McCall, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000715 with simple assault. Ms. Hardy, good afternoon. Is there a history?
Good afternoon. This defendant has 12 arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2016 for theft by taking. Felony conviction in 2016 for entering auto. They received first offender treatment and it was revoked in 2016. Their last arrest was March the 30th, 2016 out of Newton County for a probation violation. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Dunlap.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. So this incident happened on the 11th of February, 2024 at 390 Westlake Avenue Northwest. Officers responded to a domestic dispute call. They spoke to the victim and Mr. Jerry Hayes, who stated he was in a dispute with the defendant's mother, who was his girlfriend. Mr. Hayes stated he was speaking to the defendant's mother. The defendant came downstairs and started a verbal dispute. Mr. Hayes stated that he would put hands on her, but since she's a woman and pregnant, he would put hands on her child's father instead. The defendant then threw a glass vase against the wall, which missed him and caused damage and a hole in the wall. The state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with the victim, Jerry Hayes. Stay away from 390 Westlake Avenue Northwest. 1 day anger awareness. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. We can sound for the victim when appropriate.
If Jerry Hayes is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Good afternoon, Ms. Atai.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, my client is a 31-year-old mother of two minor children. She's also 7 months pregnant right now. She does deny the allegations in the warrant. The complaining witness, it's even reflected in the warrant that he threatened to do violence to her or her boyfriend and only didn't because he stated that she was pregnant. So again, she does deny the allegations. Any criminal history she has from 8 years ago. Your Honor, my client does state that her mother is sick. She suffers from heart failure and a severe medical condition. She states that this is her mother's address and she lives there and they have, at least 10 children in the home. I would object to a stay away and no further contact with the complaining witness is fine. And I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. She is 7 months pregnant, Your Honor.
Where does Mr. Hayes live?
You didn't tell me.
From my understanding, he's not supposed to do that at all with the casework with my mother.
He has some kind of a stay away order from the mother. So he's not
Okay.
live there.
So he's not supposed to be at the Westlake Avenue address?
No.
Because legally.
Okay, all right. So it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further contact with Jerry Hayes, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. McCall.
Thank you.
You know. Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to Position number 18, Ms. Jamisha Penn.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Penn. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. Ms. Penn, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000721 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle in Georgia. It was their last arrest, which was July the 9th, 2020, out of Atlanta for aggravated assault, and that case was dismissed. Nothing further to report.
Afternoon, Mr. Graham.
Good afternoon, Judge Morrow. So this position also has a cross defendant, which is position number 9, John Howard.
Okay.
This incident took place February 10th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 4590.
Get this room, it smell like damn.
I'm sorry. iPhone
This,
cat, please mute. Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Graham.
No worries. So law enforcement responded to 4590 Washington Road, apartment N2 in Atlanta, responding to a domestic dispute. There was an altercation with Jamisha Penn and John Howard. They noticed bruising. Officers noticed bruising on John Howard's neck caused by Miss Penn hitting him with a closed and open fist. They were both arrested due to visible injuries to the other. And the state is asking for signature bond through pretrial services, 1-day anger awareness course. Will no further contact with John Howard and allow the court to determine who stays away from the incident location. I do believe that the two of them live together.
Okay. Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 21 years old, and as you heard from pretrial, she has no criminal history, a 2020 case which was dismissed. So she has no criminal history. She's 21 years old, Your Honor. She does have 3 minor children. She completely denies the allegations in the warrant and does not know who called the police. Neither she nor her the complaining witness called the police. And so I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, no violent contact with the complaining witness who was also arrested, and I would object to any stay away. They do live together, and they state that there was no issue, on the date of the alleged incident, and they don't have any problems at all. Oh, Your Honor, you would need to do a stay away. I mean, the incident location is her address.
Okay. Yes, Ms. McLeod, you represent Mr. Howard?
Yes, Your Honor, I do. Good afternoon.
Okay. Good afternoon. Let me get Ms. Hardy. May I get his history, if any, please?
Okay, that defendant has 11 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2003 for driving while license suspended or revoked. Their last arrest was July the 21st, 2020 out of Fulton for an FTA. Nothing further to report.
Okay. Ms. McLeod, what is your client's wishes as far as contact?
Your Honor, they share 3 minor children, and my understanding is that she's also currently pregnant. My client is actively involved with taking care of the children. He concurs with what she says, that neither of them called the police. They're not sure why the police turned up at their house. He wants to have contact with her because he wants to be involved, as he has been, with raising these 3 minor children with her and the one that's on the way. So we would prefer no further violent contact between them, Your Honor, and I would ask for a signature bond for my client.
Okay, so for Ms. Penn, it's going to be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Howard, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond.
Your
Yeah,
Honor, if I may, the allegations against Mr. Howard were that he choked Miss Penn.
Okay, I haven't gotten to him yet, Ms. Dunlap, so I'll give you the full opportunity to present when I get to him, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything further on Ms. Penn?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Your Honor,
Okay,
what was
good.
the bond amount again for Ms. Penn?
It's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay, and can we have Mr. Howard next?
Yeah, he's coming up right now, y'all.
Okay, thank you. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Howard. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been
Can
charged, Mr.
you give me 1 second, Your Honor?
Okay,
Go ahead, Your Honor.
okay. Mr. Howard, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000713 with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and battery family violence. We've already gotten Mr. Howard's history. Yes, Ms. Dunlap, what
Thank you, Your Honor. So brief facts. The argument was over money regarding the son's birthday party. Ms. Penn told officers that the defendant put his hands around her neck and choked her. Yeah, and then the willful obstruction was when he was placed in the car. He was hitting his forehead on the rear cage of the vehicle. Given that the choking allegation, the state is looking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with Jamisha Penn. Stay away from, I believe this is her address, 4590 Washington Road, Family Violence Intervention Program, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond.
yes, anything further, Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor, we would just prefer no further violent contact because he does have to help with the children. They have 3 children already together. So they have been in a relationship, although they're both 21 for some time, since they were in high school. He is actively involved with his children, he tells me, Your Honor. So I would ask a signature bond for him and no further violent contact. He denies the choking allegation, by the way, says that is not true.
For the willful obstruction, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For the battery, $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Jamisha Penn, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you, Mr. Howard.
Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, I'll see you tomorrow, Ms. McLeod.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Next, Your Honor, is going to be Ms. Tao. And that's position. I don't see.
Your Honor, can we come back to Ms. Tao? We're still working on her case.
Oh, okay.
Pretty please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Afternoon, Mr. Walker.
I'm still trying to look through the calendar
Good
myself.
afternoon, Your Honor.
So next, can we go to Mr. Keyshawn Mitchell?
Okay,
And that's
that's position,
14.
okay. And let's see, who's representing Mr. Mitchell?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Mr. Mitchell, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000660 with possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under 18 years of age. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 1 adult cycle. Their last arrest was September the 9th, 2023, out of Douglas County for a false name, address, date of birth to law enforcement. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1033 MLK Junior Drive in Atlanta. The defendant was stopped because in the investigation of this fight call, the defendant was in the middle of the street. From my understanding, when the officer made contact with the defendant, a rifle was discovered. Obviously, he's under the age of 18. The rifle was in the backseat of the vehicle along with a cell phone. The state is asking for a $10,000 surety bond, a 6 p.m. curfew, obviously no weapon, drugs, or alcohol. And I'm showing that this is not his first arrest. I'm showing July of 22, a theft by receiving, which is a felony theft by receiving. I'm showing in November of 2022, another felony theft by receiving. I'm showing in March of 23, entering auto and an additional theft by receiving, possession of a firearm. And I'm also showing possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, which is also pending. So there is some significant history. I understand that all these cases are pending. I understand that the individual may be under the age of 18, but juvenile history is certainly admissible at bond hearings. So we are asking for the $10,000 surety bond, a 6 p.m. curfew, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol. I'm not sure if he is in school, but if he's not in school, we ask that he's enrolled into a GED program.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 17 years old. A lot of that was juvenile history. I know it's admissible in a bond hearing, but yeah. Anyway, it's a juvenile history. He's only 17 years old. And Your Honor, he was arrested on February 7th. This is most definitely a Riverside issue. He had his felony appearance, and this charge was, I think it was supposed to be taken care of at the felony appearance, and it wasn't. And they found out on Saturday that it was not taken care of, and a bond would, so he had no bond set for this charge. And so he's been here since February 7th. And it's a Riverside issue. He has a surety bond set on the felony charges. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail, as it is a Riverside issue, Your Honor. And with no further restrictions.
And Your Honor, to be honest, I'm not so sure it is a Riverside issue. He has other open felony cases he was being held on. When he was brought to misdemeanor court, it was reported by the deputy that was working that day that this charge was handled in felony court. Nonetheless, he was brought back on Saturday. I didn't work Saturday, but I was told that there was no representation for him, but the state.
Oh, no, there was representation for him.
Okay, well, what's the reason that it was reset from Saturday? Because that's the reason I was told.
He wasn't on the pull sheet and we didn't interview him. And the state brought it up at the end of the.
Right, but he was still on the calendar because I talked to Mr. Jordan. So again, the state was prepared and he was on the calendar for Saturday. From my understanding, the defense wasn't ready to represent him.
No, and also, Your Honor, on Saturday's calendar, the state did say that this was supposed to be taken care of at the felony calendar, and they thought it was, but it wasn't.
Well, I'm just
And
telling
he
you.
was an add-on, Your Honor.
I'm just gonna tell you he was on the calendar and the state was prepared to handle his case, but the defense wasn't. But
I was
nonetheless,
prepared. I was
very well, but nonetheless,
I asked Judge Williams.
Okay, I'll let you all go at it
the
for long
state's
enough.
request remains, Your Honor. Thank you.
I understand. Okay, so Mr. Ty, does he have a someone that's going to, I'm just not gonna, someone's gonna sign him out. Where does he live? Where is he staying? Or his parents have they been contacted?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke with his mother this morning. He already, from his felony charges, he does have a $10,000 surety bond already. But I spoke with his mother. She does live in Columbus, Georgia. He has been staying with his 20-year-old brother. And he has, a good address. You're gonna go to Columbus, and he's gonna go back to live with his mother.
So his mother's gonna come get him?
I gotta go down there and get my ride. My brother will take me.
Well, his brother's 20 years old. But so his brother was gonna pick him up, I guess, whenever he makes that $10,000 surety bond.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm gonna have him go through pretrial. So he's gonna need a cosigner. That cosigner cannot be his 20-year-old brother. So either his mother's gonna have to come and sign him out, or he's gonna have to get someone else of age to
His mom
sign him
said
out.
possibly his godmother could do it, but I don't have confirmation about a cosigner.
Okay, so what is it? Do you know his mother's name?
Yes, Linesha Mitchell, L-I.
L-L-A-N-E-S-H-I-A.
Okay, L-L-A-N-E-S-H.
No,
IA. Mitchell, just like his last name.
Did you get that, Ms. Bridgewater?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, but if you would, please still put her name in the chat, please.
Okay. And okay, it will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. He's to have a co-signer. At this point, it will be his mother, Miss Mitchell. He is to surrender all weapons, have no drugs or alcohol or weapons while out on bond. He's to have a curfew from 9 p.m. He's to be in by 9 p.m. and he's not to go back out until 6 a.m. If he is not enrolled in school, he is to begin classes to receive his GED. Anything further, Mr. Ty?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Mitchell.
You said you too, sir. Next, Your Honor, is going to be position number 1, Mr. Alex Alexander.
Okay.
And Mr. Walker, can you give me some confirmation on Brittany Brumskin?
So that case should be handled in felony court. It's part of her felony case.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Just like.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Alexander. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Alexander, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000705 with criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 27 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2023 for burglary, 2018 criminal attempt to commit a felony, entering auto and theft by taking. Also in 2018 battery, family violence, 2015 burglary, 2011 interference with government property. They received first offender treatment on that and it was sealed in 2017. Their last arrest was September the 27th, 2023, out of Atlanta for criminal trespass and obstruction of law enforcement officers. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Sharon, 1 second. So in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 3000 Continental Colony Parkway, where they spoke to the victim. Her name is Miss Tarika Alexander. She is the ex-wife of the defendant. On this day in question, the defendant did come to her home and flatten her front tire. That last criminal trespass arrest of the defendant, or that pretrial did cite, that case number is 23 CR 005804J. That was a criminal trespass for the defendant kicking in the same victim's front door. From that case, there was a bond condition as of no contact and stay away from this incident location. Clearly, he did not follow that, so the state is concerned for the victim's safety. We are asking for, at this point, we're asking for a $3,000 cash bond. He was already out on bond with a no contact, and he came back and essentially vandalized her vehicle to the point where it was unable to be driven. So we are asking for a $3,000 cash bond. We are asking for another stay away from the incident location, 3000 Continental Colony Parkway. No contact with the victim, Ms. Tarika Alexander. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ms. Tarika Alexander is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Afternoon, Mr. Cook.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your Honor, the property in question here, which is in this case, which is a GMC Suburban, actually belongs to my client. He has purchased it. He has the title. they have, 3 children together. Um, so he would like, as a condition of the bond, he would like to, be able to go back and get his belongings. He can do that through his parents. His parents can go there, or he could do that through a law enforcement, officer for the visit. He would also ask for a third-party transport of his children so he would be able to see them. Again, as to this particular case, it's his car, so it's not her car. And we would ask for no worse than a surety bond and, excuse me, yeah, surety bond in the $1,000 range.
Your Honor, the notion that this car is his car is bogus, and the warrant clearly says it's the victim's car, but that's not even the point. The point is he was ordered to stay away from this instant location and to have no contact with the victim. And yet here we are again, and I'm not sure why somebody would flatten their own tire. This was not his car. This is the vehicle of his ex-wife, as is cited in the warrant. And there was a no contact and a stay away for this location. So I think that that's the larger point here.
Okay, it's gonna be a $3,000 good bond. No further contact with Miss Tarika Alexander. Stay away from the 3000 Continental Parkway address. Third-party transfer of any minor children. He shouldn't have anything still there, so I'm not gonna have, given that he was given a stay away previous, there'll be no escort or anything of that nature. He's to stay away from that location. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Next, Your Honor, you're gonna go to position number 3, Mr. Marcello Christian.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Christian. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Thank you. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000707 with reckless conduct, willful obstruction of law enforcement officers, and wearing a mask, hood, or device which conceals the identity of the wearer. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 8 adult cycles in Georgia. No felony or misdemeanor convictions. The last arrest is showing October 28th, 2022 out of Atlanta for theft by receiving, and it was dismissed. Nothing further to report.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
1 second, Your Honor. Okay, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1 Ollie Street Northwest due to shots being fired. When they made it to this location, they saw the defendant with his hands in his pants walking away from the scene quickly. They attempted to detain the defendant, however, he did get flight. Eventually, he was detained on the path that he ran away from the officers. They did discover a firearm, and that is the basis to the reckless conduct for dangerously disposing of said firearm. To the count of reckless conduct, the state is asking for a $10,000 surety. To the other counts, we are asking for a $1,000 surety bond. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and to stay away from that instant location.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, my client is 21 years old. He's lived in the Atlanta area his entire time. I believe he is pursuing his GED. We would just leave this up to their sessions for Your Honor.
For the reckless conduct, it'll be $1,000 good. For the obstruction, a $500 good. The wearing of a device to conceal, a $500 good. Makes for a total of a $2,000 good bond. Stay away from 1 Ollie Street and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 4, Mr. Earl Crosby.
Check. Good afternoon, Mr. Crosby. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Moore.
Thank you. Mr. Crosby, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0000708 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 31 arrest cycles, felony conviction in 2016 for arson. They received first offender treatment. There's a misdemeanor conviction for simple battery family violence from 2016. Their last arrest was April the 19th, 2023 out of Fulton County for a misdemeanor FTA. Nothing further to report.
One second, Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 1334 Jonesboro Road, where they spoke to the victim, whose name is Christian Cosby. Him and the defendant were having some type of verbal disagreement, at which time things became physical. He did push the defendant. He also caused some superficial injuries to Mr. Christian Cosby. We are asking for a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, which is 1334 Jonesboro Road. No contact with the victim, Mr. Christian Cosby. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we believe in this particular case, this is father and son. Mr. Crosby, my client, is the father. Our position is that the son was the aggressor here. And we have no problem with a stay away and no further contact with the son. We would ask that this be a signature only bond through pre-trial.
Okay, $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness. No further contact with Mr. Christian Crosby. Stay away from the 1334 Jonesboro Road address. He can go back to that address if necessary on 1 occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Crosby.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 5, Mr. Anthony Dixon, position number 5.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dixon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Of course, yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon, you've been charged in case 24 CR 0000709 with criminal trespass and damage to property and willful obstruction of law enforcement officers. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has a total of 12 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia, Illinois, and Tennessee. Misdemeanor conviction in 2018 for battery, 2016 DUI. The last arrest was June the 5th, 2023 out of Atlanta for criminal damage to property. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Sean, in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 575 Joseph E. Lowry Boulevard, where they spoke to the victim, Ms. Tarzine Jackson. She advised that the defendant came to the side of her home, was trying to retrieve water. She asked the defendant to leave her property. At that time, he did pick up an item and broke her window out. When law enforcement arrived at the scene, he did get flight. That is the basis of the obstruction. We are asking for a $1,500 surety bond on each count, a stay away from the incident location. No contact with the victim, is Tarzine Jackson. I'm not sure, but I think I see a Miss Tarzine logged into Zoom, so we would sound for her.
Okay, if Ms. Tarzine Jackson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so.
Yes, I would know.
Okay, I will need for you to
Oops.
activate your camera for me.
Sorry.
Okay. Can you raise your right hand for me, ma'am?
Oh, yes.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like to tell the court that I think so he was on the side of the house and I asked him not to get water out the spigot. I offered him a water bottle and then he started cussing me out and I naturally cussed him out. He tried to break in my door and I had to bolt the door. And then my daughter was on the phone with 911. She was at the window when he threw a cat tower through the window, breaking the window that I'm now responsible for. I just got laid off and now I'm responsible for a window that I can't even pay for. And then he threw things at me. He threw a water bottle, which hit me. Now I have a bruise. And then he threw a piece of a fence that were all, and I do have pictures. I did post it. It is all online. And there is video, there is Ring camera video of the entire incident and what he did.
Okay.
I don't think he should get bond.
Well, it's a misdemeanor case, so ma'am, he will receive a bond because he's allowed one. Do you know Mr. Dixon?
No, I do not, sir. I relocated here a year ago from my job.
Whose address is
Well,
that?
we appreciate you being here, Ms. Jackson.
Because that is my house, sir. Sir, that is my house. That is in my name. And urgently, I swear to God, the only reason why I didn't take 484.
Okay, hold on, Mr. Dixon.
That was the only reason. I did not know you was gonna play that card out there to make us have to come and redeck that out your card. That is not fair to us. That is my house, and who are you reporting?
Mr. Dixon. Okay, Mr. Dixon.
You know that's my crib. You know that.
Your Honor, we're gonna be asking for a mental health evaluation.
You know exactly why. But you're the same one that can continue doing that, Mr. Tarzan.
You want to would you all control Mr. Dixon, please?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. That's just unfair to me. I'm sorry about that. That was a brand new Weston himself gave me that crib. That is not fair.
Okay, so let me know when he's calmed down.
He's calm, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, I'm going to leave this up to the discretion of the court.
And again, Your Honor, at this point, we're asking for a mental health evaluation along with the other conditions that we previously stated.
And this is his second time at my house. He came in Seattle, in September. I have video. I didn't know who he was at first at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I sent it to the court that he came in and damaged property before. I didn't know who he was. It was on Ring camera. I do have video.
Thank you, ma'am. So for each charge, it will be $1,000 good bond, making for a total of a $2,000 good bond, a mental health evaluation. Mr. Cook, if you could prepare that for me. Stay away from the 575 Joseph E. Lowry address. No further contact with Ms. Jackson. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Let me make it very clear to you, Mr. Dixon, at this point that you cannot go back to that location. You cannot have any contact with Ms. Jackson. If you do, you will be in violation of this bond conditions and it will be revoked. All right. We appreciate you being here this afternoon, Ms. Jackson. Good luck to you, Mr. Dixon. Who do we have next?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I have Ms. Jamie from the felony calendars, and she's explaining to me that Ms.
No, she said she needs to see the warrant.
Oh, she needs to see the warrants, Mr. Walker. For Ms.
Okay,
Brooks.
where can I send the warrants to? So this misdemeanor case, when he was arrested, he assaulted an officer and he got a felony obstruction charge as they were taking him to the jail. But I'll be glad to send the warrant. Is there a name or email address I can forward the warrant to?
She's going to record. She's gonna look at the warrant, the record. She's going to record to look at the warrant. Hello. She's headed the record to look at the warrant. Okay.
And Your Honor, next we're gonna go to Mr. Griffin.
Okay.
Griffin, that's position number 7.
Good afternoon, Mr. Griffin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
No.
Thank you. You, Mr. Griffin, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000711 with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer and possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under 18 years of age. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant doesn't have any adult history to report.
Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. As Mr. Walker mentioned earlier, his history is juvenile, but it is relevant to this case in a bond hearing. He does have it looks like possession of a firearm during commission of a felony, as well as a hijacking of a motor vehicle from 2022 of August. With that being stated, this incident happened on February 11, 2024 at, looks like 3041 Landam Street. So officers responded to a larceny call. At this address, they met with the, I guess, proposed victim, Darius Lemons, who stated that Atlanta PD took a report earlier that morning for items that were stolen out of his car. He had taken pictures and videos of the suspect. He essentially tracked down these items, I guess with the AirTag. What was stolen was Canon cameras, Sigma lenses, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 3 different types of lenses, a flash for a camera, charger for a USB adapter for a computer, a MacBook Air, and a Versace book bag. He called officers to this location. Officers went to the front and back of the house. When they knocked on his door, they spoke with a Miss Courtney Mason. While this was happening, one of the males in the house went and started throwing one of the cameras and lenses off the back, out of the back window, I'm sorry. And when they saw the officers, they retreated into the home. Officers gave several verbal commands about bringing the items out. They waited an hour for Miss Mason to try to get the items back. And they ended up detaining Miss Mason and calling additional units. They gave several more verbal commands to come outside with hands up. No one came out. An additional male jumped out of a second-story window and fled the scene at this time. The defendant was still inside the house. Apparently, the parents of Miss Mason came home or to the house and assisted with officers in searching the home. Because Mr. Lemon stated that people inside the home were pointing firearms at him, officers swept the house twice. They ended up finding a firearm under Miss Mason's mattress, who stated there were no firearms in the house, and she doesn't essentially allow them in there. When the officers recovered the Glock 26 Generation 4, and they told the defendant what he was charged with, the defendant responded, and I quote, "How do you know I have a firearm? You must have seen it on my Instagram." With the given history, Your Honor, the state is looking for a $10,000 surety bond, a 6 p.m. curfew since the defendant is a minor, a GED program if he's not enrolled in high school, no further contact with the, I guess, the technical victim, Darius Lemons, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Okay. Ms. Dunlap, the open cases, what are those charges?
There's a hijacking of a motor vehicle and possession of a firearm or knife during the commission of a felony from August of 2022.
Okay, and the breakdown that you're seeking is it's 10,000 total. Is it 1 and 9 or
Yes,
2 and 8? 1 and 9. Okay. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Cook.
Yes, Your Honor, my client is in the GED program now at Atlanta Tech. He would have no problem with any stay away provision. He's 17 years old. Was the recommendation 10,000 surety bond? Is that what? Was that?
Yes.
Okay, okay. He has no resources for that, and nobody in his family has those kinds of resources. We would ask for something much lower than that. Certainly no more than 1,000, and I would leave that again then in the court's discretion. Again, he's already in a GED program at Atlanta Tech.
Okay, so for the obstruction, it'll be $1,000 good bond. For the possession of a pistol, a $4,000 good bond. It makes for a total of a $5,000 good bond. Stay away from the Landon Street address. No further contact with Mr. Lemons. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Surrender any weapons that he does have. A curfew, he has to be in by 9 p.m. and has to stay in until 6 a.m. He is to stay in the GED program. And I think that covers it. Good luck to you, Mr. Griffin.
Next, Your Honor, we're gonna go to position number 8, Mr. Nicholas Harris, position number 8.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Harris. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Mr. Harris, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000712 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 11 arrest cycles in Georgia. No felony convictions. Their last arrest was July the 21st, 2020, out of APD for a criminal trespass. Nothing further to report.
Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident stems from January 24, 2024 happened at 2563 Rex Avenue Southwest. The victim in this case is a Kaylin Walker. She walked into the precinct and told officers around midnight she arrived at her ex-boyfriend, the defendant's house. When she was getting ready to leave, the defendant didn't want her to leave. They began arguing. He grabbed her from behind, pushed her on the ground, kicked her in the stomach. Officers observed bruising on the victim at that time. Our officer did speak to the victim, Ms. Kaylin Walker. She did stated she wants contact. She's not in fear, but nonetheless, the state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with the victim, Kaylin Walker. Stay away from 2563 Rex Ave Southwest if that's not his address. Family violence intervention program, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. We can sound for the victim when appropriate.
Ms. Kaylin Walker is on the line and wishes to address the court. Now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, Mr. Cook.
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I
yes.
actually relocated.
Hold on, Ms. Walker. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Right, yes.
Is that okay? Yes, what would you like to tell me?
I actually relocated. I'm not in fear or anything. I went to the precinct to get a protection order, but I'm no longer in Georgia. So like I don't fear Nick or nothing like that. And we have no contact already.
Okay, and you don't live at the Rex Avenue address anymore?
No, I don't live there.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you being here this afternoon.
All right, thank you. Mr.
Cook?
Your Honor, we would be asking for a signature bond through pretrial. There should be no issue with, there's no problem with no further contact, but this is his home, so we would not want to stay away of any kind with any conditions at the residence of 2563 Rex Avenue. That's his home, and there's a victim just testified, or the alleged victim just testified. She's out of state, so should be no problem there.
Okay, it will.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Sorry, we have information. She spoke with the victim advocate today in our office, and she stated that they still live together. So we're still asking for no further contact.
Okay, I'm going to order no further contact.
That's fine.
Seems to be fine with everyone. So it's a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Walker, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Harris.
Okay. Your Honor,
Yes,
Mr. Cook is about to go into courtroom 1.
okay,
They can do a breakout with the ASL interpreter.
We're here and ready.
okay.
So you can put them in a breakout room, and I'm gonna go to Ms. Atai's clients.
Okay, thank you.
We're gonna go to position number 13, Mr. Ricky Madrano.
Good afternoon, Mr. Madrano. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video? Did you hear me, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you have been charged in case 24 CR 000717 with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant is a multi-state offender with a total of 15 cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Ohio. Misdemeanor conviction in 2015 for criminal trespass. 2017 battery, family violence, and disorderly conduct. 2021 criminal trespass. 2023 DUI and driving while license suspended or revoked. The last arrest was October 26, 2023 out of Roswell for DUI and driving without a license. Nothing further to report.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on February 11, 2024. Law enforcement responded to 225 High Creek Drive in Roswell. Upon arrival, they spoke with Sachiel, it's Sachiel Gonzalez, who advised that her ex-husband, Ricky Madrano, had come back to the residence after being asked to leave earlier that evening. He was banging on the door, refused to leave. He also threw a can of beer at one of the windows, creating a hole in the screen and damage to the window. Officers did find Mr. Madrano at the rear of the residence, underneath the window that was damaged. The beer can was also found just below the window. Mr. Madrano did inform the officers that he had been drinking that evening. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, ADET, no further contact with Sachiel Gonzalez. Stay away from 225 High Creek Drive in Roswell, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. In your honor, our office has not been in contact with Mrs. Gonzalez, but we would like to sound for the victim in accordance with.
Okay, if Ms. Gonzalez is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Doesn't appear so. Yes, Ms. Atai.
Your Honor, we have no objection to the signature bond for pretrial services. I would object to the ADET, and my client is fine with the no further contact and a stay away. He's 28 years old and has lived in Georgia all his life. He does have 2 minor children.
With Ms. Gonzalez?
No.
No. And does he need a one-time escort?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. No further contact with Ms. Gonzalez. Stay away from the High Creek Drive address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Madrano.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have position number 15. Nagusa Charles.
No, that's it.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good afternoon. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000718 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant does not have any history to report.
Okay. Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place February 11, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 4700 Riverwood Lane F in Roswell. Upon arrival, they spoke with Charles Nungesser, who advised that he and his girlfriend, Megan Sowada, Sowada, had been arguing throughout the night. It became physical when he went to Miss Sawada's room and laid in her bed. She kicked him in an attempt to get him out of the bed, and he admitted to biting her on the face. Mr. Nungesser also admitted to getting on top of Miss Sowada, holding her down by the wrists to prevent her from hitting him. Officers observed a bite mark on Miss Sawada's right cheek, red marks on her arms and wrists. Our office has been in touch with Miss Sawada. She states that she and Mr. Nungesser are in a relationship. They live together at the location. They share no children. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She confirmed her injuries. She stated nothing like this has ever happened before. She's not in fear of Mr. Nungesser. She wishes to have contact, and she wants him to return to the residence. That being said, Your Honor, the state is asking for no further contact and to stay away just because it was so recent. Signature bond through pretrial services, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. I do believe Ms. Sowada is on Zoom, so if we can sound for the victim.
Yes, Mr. Wade, if you would like to address the court, you certainly do not have to, but if you would like to, now's your opportunity. I'll need you to activate your camera and
Yes, I'm sorry to be difficult. This is the first time me using Zoom. How do I start the video?
you were on video just a moment ago, ma'am. So, and you've been on
okay.
video the entire court session. So there you go. Okay. Okay. So now you have to unmute yourself.
My apologies. Where do I go for that?
Well,
I'm having trouble.
Okay, no, there you go. Okay.
Okay, am
We
I
see
in?
you. All right, yes, you are. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell me?
I would push for getting rid of the no contact. It was an argument where both of us were at fault. It has never been this extreme before. I split the bills with him equally. I would really, really enjoy if he could come back to the residence. I am not in fear. And it was just an argument that got out of control. Even when I mentioned to the police, like, there are no marks really, like the face, I'm fine. I did not want him to be charged with this. I asked the court to reconsider the no contact.
Has this ever happened before?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're not in fear of him?
Not at all.
Okay, I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. Yes, Mr. Ty.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 23 years old. As you heard, he has absolutely no criminal history. This was his very first arrest. He's been a Georgia resident over 6 years now. He does deny the allegations in the warrant. I would, and actually he states that a neighbor called 911, so neither him nor the complaining witness called 911. Again, it's his first arrest. I'm asking for a signature bond through the jail, no violent contact, and obviously no stay away, as that is his home as well. Nothing further.
Okay, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Miss Sowada, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you both.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Sorry.
Next, we have Kelly Jerry. Not sure if this is- And that'll be position number. It is. Jerry? Yeah. Kelly Jerry. Oh, okay. Oh, Kelly Jerry, position number 16.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. O'Kelly. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. O'Kelly, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000719 with failure to obey a traffic sign and driving under the influence of alcohol less safe. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 13 arrest cycles, misdemeanor convictions for DUI in 1992, 2002, 2013, and 2021. Their last arrest was December the 21st, 2021, out of DeKalb for a DUI. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place February 11, 2024. Jerry O'Kelly was observed running a stop sign, nearly striking a passing patrol vehicle. A traffic stop was conducted after Mr. O'Kelly traveled slowly into the path of the patrol vehicle a second time. Mr. O'Kelly's speech seemed slurred. He appeared disoriented. As he was asked for his license several times, he could not produce a license. Mr. O'Kelly refused a field sobriety test. He refused consent for a breathalyzer and refused consent for a blood or urine test. Mr. O'Kelly had bloodshot eyes, and the officer noticed what seemed to be the smell of an alcoholic beverage coming from his breath. He admitted to having two drinks early in the day, but was unable to stand once outside of the vehicle. Based on the history, the state is requesting a $5,000 surety bond, ADET, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 55 years old. He is the father of two minor children, 10 years old and 17. He does have one grown child who's in the Air Force. He works full-time at AT&T as a field technician, and he also works part-time at Home Depot. He has worked at AT&T for over 30 years, Your Honor. He is a high school graduate, a college graduate. He does not qualify for public defender services. I would ask for, I understand there's some history, but I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services. If Your Honor's not inclined, then, a lower surety bond of $1,000 or $1,500, Your Honor. Nothing further.
$1,000 good bond for the DUI, a $4,000 good bond makes for a total of a $5,000 good bond. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck, Mr. O'Kelly. Who do we have next?
Position 21. Ms. Small.
Good afternoon, Ms. Small. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are doing by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
I do. Great afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Small. You've been charged in case 24 CR 000724 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 3 arrest cycles in Georgia. Their last arrest was January the 2nd, 2016 out of Smyrna for a DUI. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Graham?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place February 10th, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a domestic dispute at 1859 King Alfred Drive, Southwest in Atlanta. Upon arrival, officers met with Genevieve Small, who advised that she was in a verbal dispute with her boyfriend, Idris Talib, Talib, and that she felt her safety was at risk due to prior domestic dispute issues. She advised that she sprayed Mr. Talib in the face with pepper spray after he threatened to punch her. She also showed a recording of the incident to the officers. Officers did not hear any threats made to Ms. Small. Our office has been in contact with Mr. Talib. He states that that he and Ms. Small are in a relationship. They do live together at the incident location. They share no children. He confirmed the events in the warrant, stated nothing like this has ever happened before. He is not in fear of the defendant. He wishes to have contact. Also that he wants her to return to the residence, that he will be on Zoom today. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial services, and just due to the proximity, still a no further contact with Idris Talib, stay away from the incident location, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. And if we can sound for the victim, I do believe I see him on Zoom.
Mr. Talib, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I will need for you to raise your right hand for me, sir. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
I would like for her to return back to the residence. We share 3 businesses together that they're very both of us are actively involved, and we have to, it's almost impossible to run these businesses without us having contact with each other. Like I said, I'm not in any type of fear whatsoever. Things just kind of escalated and got out of hand. And I just wish for no charges to be brought against her.
Has this ever happened before, sir?
No, sir.
And you're not afraid of her?
No, sir.
Okay, I appreciate you being here this afternoon, Mr. Talib. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, Ms. Atai.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 52 years old. She's lived in Georgia over 30 years. She works running an organization to house at-risk adults, including those with mental health issues, HIV, people who have aged out of the foster care system. And so as the complaining witness stated, they're both actively involved in running those businesses and actively involved in service to the community. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail. I'm sorry I missed, but I don't believe she has any violent history, and maybe I heard one DUI. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail so that it can get back to serving the community. And obviously I object to the no further contact. I think that they both want no violent contact, and I object to stay away, nothing further.
It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1-day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Mr. Talib, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Ms. Small. You also, Mr. Talib.
May I be excused, Your Honor?
Is that the last case we have there, Officer Milton?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then yes, you may certainly be excused. You have a good rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Where are we going next?
Next, we have position number 10. Position number 10, Hurt Benny.
Okay.
So, Your Honor, Mr. Hurt, when the warrant packet was sent, 2 warrants were missing. We just sent in those accusations and an NOD. I'm not sure if Mr. Jordan has had time to process said accusations, but I do want to make the court aware that there's 4 charges in total. 3 were
Okay.
accused and the 4th one was NOD.
All right, so I have on the calendar willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, criminal trespass, and damage to property. And what's the other one, Mr. Walker?
Violating restriction
Oh,
in a license.
violating.
Sorry, let me get the correct correct language. 1 second. It is violating restriction of driver's license.
And what's being NOD'd?
The second willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Hurt. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, criminal trespass and damage to property, and violating restrictions on your driver's license. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle out of Florida. Their last arrest was September the 18th, 2019, out of Hillsborough County for battery, domestic violence. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on February 10th. At 2900 Laurel Ridge Way. Officer spoke to a Mr. Andrew Walker, who stated him and the defendant who are used to be in a relationship, and used to live together, got into a verbal altercation, resulted in the defendant leaving the area several times, coming back, banging on the door, and then coming back to stab Mr. Walker's tires. Mr. Walker stated he heard a loud bang and saw the defendant driving away from his vehicle. In regards to the willful obstruction, the defendant pulled away from the officers and threw himself on the ground when he was attempted to be handcuffed. He also kicked the patrol car and grabbed the panels.
You might want to slow down just a bit, Ms. Dunlap.
Sorry.
Okay.
And
Go
in
ahead.
regards to violating restriction on driver's license, he didn't have his hearing aids when he was pulled over by the police operating his car. With that being said, the state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with the victim, Andrew Walker. A stay away from Mr. Walker's home address. I believe that may be the 2900 Laurel Ridgeway. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation.
Okay, as such, for each charge, it will be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Makes for a total of a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. No further contact with Andrew Walker. Stay away from the Laurel Ridge Way address. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Your Honor, may I clarify, what did we get the NOD on?
Apparently, yes, there was a second obstruction, willful obstruction charge, is my understanding. Is that right, Ms. Dunlap?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. And let's see, Ms. Bridgewater,
Yes, Your Honor.
you have everything that you need
Yes.
for the
I
paperwork?
understand there were
Okay.
4 charges, 2 of them being the willful obstruction, with one of the willful obstruction being not on docket.
Okay, very good. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Hurt, good luck to you, sir.
You finished. So,
Okay, Madam Interpreter, thank you for being here this afternoon. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Judge. May I be dismissed?
Yes, have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Your Honor, I apologize. I just sat back down. What was his bond amount?
It's a total of $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. 1,000 on each.
Next, can we go to Mr. Rivers?
Okay.
And he's position number 20.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Rivers. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Rivers, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000723 with willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history?
This defendant has a total of 17 arrest cycles with arrests out of Georgia and Tennessee. Felony conviction in 2019 for fleeing and attempting to elude. 2010 burglary. 2009 aggravated assault and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. The last arrest was April the 8th, 2023 out of Swanee for obstruction of law enforcement, possession of Schedule I controlled substance. And there appears to be a hold out of Knoxville, Tennessee. The date of that warrant is December 30th, 2016. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on February 9th, 2024. Law enforcement officers were executing a writ of possession at 2989 Kentucky Court in East Point. Upon arrivals, officers informed Samuel Rivers and another occupant that they could grab their keys, their phones, and their wallets. At that time, Mr. Rivers began to walk toward the kitchen. After being commanded to stop, he ran out of the back door. He was found hiding in a dumpster. Several officers were able to pull him out the dumpster, and after a bit of resistance, put him in handcuffs. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services. Stay away from that location, 2989 Kentucky Court. No drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond. I think, Your Honor, we also found an open warrant at the out of Atlanta. I'm just trying to see if I can pull that back up. My apology, Your Honor. I'll see if I can find it, but we can continue.
Okay, Ms. Grimm, I don't understand what he was arrested for. If he was being evicted and he didn't want to stay around, then how come he couldn't leave? I mean, and then they arrested him on an obstruction charge when they were evicting him?
And he was tased also. I don't understand either.
Okay, well, regardless, Mr. Ty, I'm going to release him to the holes. It'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. And I guess since he's been evicted from the Kentucky court address, stay away from the Kentucky court address. Okay? All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Rivers.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Who do we have next?
Next, Your Honor, we're going to go to Mr. McCarver, position number 12. James McCarver.
Okay.
Hey, I need him to sit down. Go sit down over there. Sit comfy. Go to the second row.
Afternoon, Mr. McCarver. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. McCarver, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000716 with theft by taking and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant is a multi-state offender with 45 total cycles, arrests out of Georgia and Michigan. They don't have any felony convictions within the last 10 years. Did you want to hear the older charges?
No, that's fine. Nothing for the past 10 years.
That's correct. Their last arrest was January the 3rd, 2020 out of Fulton for an FTA. Nothing further to report.
Okay, yes, Mr. Graham.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place February 11, 2024. Law enforcement responded to a larceny call at Hunter Heating and Air Conditioning Company, it's at 2021 Manchester Street, Northwest, Atlanta. Upon arrival, officers spoke with Robert Hunter, who is the owner of the business. He advised that he was watching James McCarver on the security camera entering the property and attempting to take some items. A review of the security camera footage from the previous day also shows Mr. McCarver on the property removing copper coils from an industrial AC unit. The state is requesting a $2,000 surety bond, an anti-theft course, no further contact with Robert Hunter. Stay away from 2021 Manchester Street Northwest, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Mr. Cook.
I'm sorry, what was the state's recommendation? I apologize.
No problem. $2,000 surety bond, anti-theft course, no further contact with Robert Hunter. Stay away from 2021 Manchester Street, which is Hunter Heating and Air Conditioning Company, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
You know, we have no problem with the conditions. Mr. McCarver is not financially able to satisfy a surety bond. We would ask for a signature only bond through whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Okay, for each charge, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1, makes for a total of a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from the Manchester Street address, no further contact with Mr. Robert Hunter, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. McCarver.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir.
Once again, Your Honor, I apologize. What was the bond amount?
It's 2,000 signature through pretrial.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna go to Mr. Joshua Walker.
Okay. He is position 22. Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000725 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 7 arrest cycles in Georgia. Misdemeanor conviction in 2021 for simple battery. The last arrest was March the 12th, 2023 out of Marietta for a simple battery against someone 65 years or pregnant. Nothing further to report.
And that's open?
Yeah. It's out of Marietta. It appears that it's still open.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on January 21st, 2024 at 635 McWilliams Road Southeast. Officer responded to a call from the victim, a Miss Ariana Ferguson, who stated her husband, the defendant, came to the location. He stays there on and off. They got into an altercation over him not giving her $1. Her not giving him $1. And defendant pinned her to the floor and started throwing punches at her with a closed fist. The incident last year in Marietta was with Ms. Ferguson as well. She did state to our victim advocate that this is not the first time this has happened. And regarding that incident last year, she did say that she called the cops because he returned to the residence yesterday and she asked him to leave and he refused to leave. And then he was arrested on this warrant. She did want contact with the victim, but given that the open case now and the one last year, the state is looking for a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim who he is married to, Ariana Ferguson, stay away from 635 McWilliams Road Southeast. Family violence intervention program, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and we could sound for the victim when appropriate.
If Ms. Ariana Ferguson is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Okay, and your recommendation, Ms. Dunlap, was a signature bond through pretrial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Ms. Ferguson?
Yes, I just wanted to
Okay,
say,
hold on. So if you would like to, I'm happy to have you here. You have to activate your camera if you want to speak to me though, okay?
okay. Let me figure out how to do this. Okay, greetings, Your Honor.
Okay, yes. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, it'll be the whole truth.
Okay, you can place your hand down. Thank you, ma'am. What would you like to tell me?
I just wanted to say that, like, he does like help me with like financially, and I kind of like I don't have a job right now, and it's just me and my daughter, and I kind of like still need help like with money and stuff, and yeah, I just wanted to see if you could show him some mercy.
Okay, well, is that your child there with you?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you might want to you might want to place her to the side for a moment as I speak with you.
Go.
Okay, so it seems, did you call the police in this matter?
Yes.
And you did that because you were afraid of him?
Well, I told him I just really wanted him to leave. Like it was his birthday weekend and stuff like that. I'd rather him have spent his birthday weekend with his family. Like I just wanted to have some time to myself. Like at least I told him, give me 3 days and you can come back. Like just give me time to be separated from you for a while. And so I guess he wasn't trying to leave. And so I just called the police, just to get him to go escorted. But he did have a warrant, and so I was just like, there's nothing I can do.
Okay, and this isn't the first time that you've had to call the police.
Yeah,
Is
it was
that
only
right?
last year that he did something to me.
Okay, so man, what I'm you're a grown lady, he's a grown man. You got a child there, okay? Your child is seeing and emulating everything that you do, okay? The fact that you even have her on camera with this type of proceeding is concerning to me. But what's most concerning to me is that this apparently continues to happen, and you've got a child that needs to be raised up. So no, I'm not going to let him have any contact with you. No, I'm not going to let him continue to come around at this point in time. Because I don't think that's any good for you or your child. Okay. All right. Thank you for being here this afternoon, Ms. Ferguson. Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objection to the state's recommendation of a signature bond through pretrial services. My client doesn't live there. He's fine with a stay away and no further contact. I would object to the FVIP and I think a one-day anger awareness at most. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. It'll be a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial, one-day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Ferguson, stay away from the McWilliams Road address, no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Walker.
Next, Your Honor, we're going to go to position number 23, Mr. Harold Wilkins.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilkins. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we are completing by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Wilkins, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000726 with criminal damage to property. Is there a history?
This defendant has one adult cycle in Georgia. Their last arrest was July the 18th, 2021 out of College Park for aggravated assault. Nothing further to report.
Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened on February 10th, 2024 at 43 Country Place Court, Alpharetta. Officers were dispatched there regarding a domestic dispute. They approached the defendant who had, looks like he'd been sitting outside. He stated that him and his girlfriend and Miss Desiree Romero, apologize if I mispronouncing that, had gotten into an argument, and he said he would leave, but he asked her not to change his bank passcode. When they were laying in the bed, she changed the passcode anyway. The defendant took her phone and left. When he returned to the property, the door was locked, so he knocked. At some point, he then started kicking in the door and kicked it out of the door frame. He also confirmed to the cops that he kicked out the door. With that being said, the state is looking for a signature bond through the jail. No further contact with the victim, Miss Desiree Romero. A stay away from 43 Country Place Court. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond. And we could sound for the victim when appropriate. I see she's on.
Yes, Ms. Romero, if you would like to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. If you would like to address me, you have to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. Yes, ma'am. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell me, ma'am?
About that day, he did break the door down, but like, we're the owners of the house, and my mom said it was okay that they were gonna fix it. It was like no charges were pressed towards him.
Okay, does he live there?
Yes, we both live here.
All right, so has anything like this ever happened before?
No, this is the first time anything like this happens.
Are you afraid of it?
No,
Okay, all right, thank you, ma'am. Mr.
thank
Ty?
you.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 19 years old. He does deny the allegations. Even the warrant states that the complaining witness did not wish to make a statement at that time, and even now, she's stating that there was no reason for an arrest. We're fine with the signature bond through the jail, of course. I would ask for no violent contact, and I would object to a stay away. That's his home. And Your Honor, I would just like to point out that the history, he was 16 years old at that time. He's only 19 right now, and that was 2021. So I would ask for no violent contact, object to any kind of stay away, and a signature bond through the jail is fine, Your Honor.
It'll be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail, no further violent contact with Ms. Romero, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Wilkins.
Your Honor, there was a criminal trespass. Was that NOD?
That's all it is.
That's all it is?
Mhm.
Okay, that's what they had on here.
It was
Okay.
criminal.
I have a criminal damage to property as the only thing on the calendar.
Yeah, he was booked in with a criminal trespass and a criminal damage to property. I was just wondering.
Okay. Did we see that, Ms. Dunlap? Has that been NOD'd or?
No, but if you could give me a second to look, some of the warrants this morning were missing. Maybe I just have to double check, but all I had was the criminal trespass damage to property under one. So
Okay, I want to make sure that that he's able to get out. So if we can check on that by the end of the session. Thank you. Okay, no, we'll figure it out, Norris.
Okay. So next we'll go to position number 24, Mr. Joseph Yancey.
Is this your case, Ms. Dunlap? Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Walker, you still with me?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Would you mind helping us out on this position 23 and checking into that other charge for Mr. Wilkins?
Yes.
Were you listening?
Yes.
To us? Okay, all right, thank you, I appreciate it. I know I don't want to task with Ms. Dunlap with too many things. Okay, let's see. This is Mr. Yancey. Good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Yancey, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000727 with simple battery, family violence, and criminal trespass and damage to property. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has 5 arrest cycles in Georgia, misdemeanor conviction in 2019 for battery, family violence, Their last arrest was January the 7th, 2021 out of Clayton County for battery and cruelty to children. Nothing further to report.
Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident happened, it looks like August 31st, 2023 at 3605 Los Olas Drive in South Fulton. The victim in this case is a Taryn Brown. Officers responded to this address in reference to a domestic dispute. They spoke to Ms. Brown, who stated when she came out of her room to get medicine for one of her children, she noticed a dark figure standing in her living room. She then ran back into the room and tried to shut the door. Defendant, who is her ex-boyfriend, was attempting to get in the room, and he broke down the door, cracked it right through the middle. He then pushed her to the ground, causing her to hit her head, and got on top of her and started hitting her with multiple fists. Her children, it looks like she has 3, 15, 10, and 8, then entered and tried to break up the altercation between her and the defendant. She stated to the officers that when he did get up off of everyone, he struck everyone in the room and he actually spit on one of the children. Given the history, I have about 1, 2, 3 arrests for battery. The state is looking for a $5,000 surety bond. No further contact with the victim, Miss Tareen Brown. Stay away from her home address, 3605 Los Olas Drive in South Fulton. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. And we did have our office did have a chance to speak to her this morning. Unfortunately, her mother passed away this morning. She was supposed to be attending Zoom, but she did state that she is in fear of the defendant and she does not want any contact or him to return to her residence.
Ms. Atai?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years old. He's lived in Georgia all his life. He denies the allegations and states that he was not at the home on August 31st, 2023. I mean, he firmly denies the allegations. Your Honor, my client was arrested on this warrant yesterday, on February 10th. After he was attacked, he was checked into Grady. I mean, he was stabbed 17 times, pistol whipped, attacked with a staple gun, and he states that this was all done by the complaining witness. If the state's spoken with her, then I guess you would know that there's something going on there. He does have holes also in his pants because she tried to stab him in his penis. His pants are covered in his blood. I would say, so anyway, my client denies the allegations. He states that the complaining witness attacked him yesterday. I'm sure there's a warrant somewhere for that. He was contacted by a victim advocate, or maybe he hasn't been able to because of the hospitalization and now the being held in custody here. He completely denies the allegations. I know there's history, but you can look at him now. He's been attacked. So I would ask for a signature bond so that he can get out. He has some severe injuries. No further contact and stay away is of course fine. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Bond through pretrial level 1 with a criminal trespass, $1,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Ms. Brown, stay away from the Los Olas address, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Yancey.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Your Honor, just a few announcements. Go sit down.
Okay.
On position number 2, Mr. Bolden, he waived his appearance.
Okay.
Position number 6 is MH reset.
So we'll reset that till 2:13. Okay.
Position number 17 was released, bonded out.
Okay.
Position number 19 waived the appearance.
Okay.
And that should be it. I just want to get some confirmation on 2 other defendants that I have, Mrs. Brittany Brumskin and Mrs. Nigeria Towles. I believe we're supposed to be, getting an add-on calendar for towels.
Oh, that's correct.
I just haven't received it yet, so.
So yeah, I just sent that in recently to the clerk's office. Her warrants were not included with the rest of them this morning. And then Brumskin, like I stated earlier, that needs to be handled with her felony case.
Who we talking about? I have, Brumskin. Records is saying that she has two different cases. She has a misdemeanor and she has a felony.
Okay, I can email them, but it's all the same case, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, it was for Kashawn Mitchell too.
But I didn't make that announcement. That's what from my understanding, the deputy made.
So
And then back to Wilkins, I'm looking at the pull sheet. There's only one warrant. So I mean, is there another warrant that needs to be sent?
I'm thinking that since everything is being handwritten, whoever wrote on the card probably just put it as two charges instead of just one charge.
Because I
Yeah.
have the pull sheet and there's only one warrant number listed.
Right, right. And the way they put it on our jail card, it's shown as two charges, which should be one. So thank you for looking into that, Mr. Walker.
Okay.
Okay, so should we handle the waivers while we're waiting?
Yes, let's handle the waivers, Your Honor.
Okay, okay. So position number 2 is Mara Bolden, charged in case 24 CR 0000706 with battery family violence. Is there a history on this, Ms. Hardy?
They have 3 arrest cycles in Georgia, felony conviction in 2023 for robbery. And they got first offender treatment and it was sealed in 2023. Last arrest was January 6, 2022 out of Houston. Well, Houston County for theft by taking, simple battery, nothing further.
1 second, Your Honor.
Okay.
Law enforcement was dispatched to 187 Maury Avenue where they spoke with the victim, whose name is Shayna Lataya, Lataya. She advised the defendant did punch, stomp, and knee her while holding her down onto the ground, which led to a broken fingernail and an abrasion and swelling of her cheekbones. The state is asking for a $5,000 surety bond, a stay away from the incident location, no contact with Ms. Shayna Lataya, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
What's the location again, Mr. Walker?
It is 187 Maury, Moury Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no problem with the stay away or the no further contact order. My client denies the charges. And we would be asking, since he lives in a different place, has no problem staying away from the 187 Maury location, that he receive a signature only bond through pretrial to the level the court deems are appropriate.
Okay. Given the history, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond. No further contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from the Maury Avenue address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, the other waiver is position 19, Rashad Rahman, charged in case 24 CR 0000722 with battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
Okay, that defendant has 11 arrest cycles, arrests out of Georgia and South Carolina. Felony conviction in 2014 out of South Carolina for a CWEC charge. 2019 forgery. Last arrest was October the 4th, 2018 out of DeKalb for a probation violation. Nothing further to report.
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident took place on February 10th, 2024, law enforcement responded to a public indecency report at the Lindbergh MARTA Station, 2420 Piedmont Road. Officers met with the caller, who advised that Rashad Rahman exposed his genitalia while on train 402. Mr. Rahman was detained after exiting the train. The state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial services, SDET, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Mr. Graham, my calendar has battery. Is that?
I have a public indecency, but I'll double check right. Warrants.
What do you have, Ms. Atai?
I have a public indecency as well, Your Honor.
Oh, I have a battery family violence on my calendar.
Yeah, that's what I have.
I didn't see anything with the battery family violence.
Judge, give me a moment and I'll go and check on that.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Grace.
Yes, Your Honor, same. Our warrant is public indecency.
Okay, well, let's figure out why we have something different. And what was your recommendation, Mr. Graham?
Sorry, Your Honor, our recommendation is signature bond through pretrial services, SDET, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I just received an accusation, and the accusation has a charge of public indecency. However, on the calendar, it has the battery, so I'm a little confused too.
So what was it accused as? I mean, it was accused as a public indecency?
Yes, Your Honor, we sent over an accusation for public indecency, and that is the warrant that we have. We don't have, I didn't receive warrants.
Well, Your Honor, Miss Houston is here from the records, and she does have a warrant, which I guess I haven't seen, and the state hasn't seen, I guess, for a battery family violence.
I guess it is this.
Excuse me, Judge, I got the update. We do apologize. It is a public indecency for Mr. Rashid Raham. It's going to be corrected.
And okay, sorry, Your Honor. I think that there's a lot of confusion, but it is a PI charge, Your Honor.
Okay.
Is that
yes.
the only charge?
Yes, it is, Ms. Bridgewater.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yes, Mr. Ty.
Your Honor, I have no objection to a signature bond through pretrial services. I do object to an SDET. Nothing further.
Okay, a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. Stay away from the Lindbergh MARTA station, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. And for the one, what was the name? Bum skin. I'm sorry. For Miss Houston has also stated that she does have 2 misdemeanor charges that were not handled at her felony first appearance.
Okay, so
Brittany Brumskin.
And I've stated as part of that's part of the felony case, I could send an email. I can't accuse a case as part of a felony case. That's double jeopardy. So,
Well, I think that what Miss Houston is saying, that it wasn't heard at all at her felony.
okay, well, that's we
Simple
can't.
battery. And
I understand, but we can't hear it here. Is my point.
So
It's
she'll
part
just
of the
be in
felony
jail
case, so
until-
he'll have to go back onto the felony first appearance tomorrow. It's the same case.
Okay. So I just received the add-on calendar with towels.
Yes.
Are
Your
we
Honor,
ready? Yes, Ms. Dunlap.
may I be excused, please?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. You have
She
you
has
have a good
class she has to go
afternoon.
to.
I know. I'm just teasing you, Ms. Dunlap. I'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Here's, Mrs. Towles for the, add-on, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Towles. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. How you doing?
Good afternoon. Thank you, ma'am. Let's see, Ms. Towles, you've been charged in case 24 CR 000728 with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Ms. Hardy?
This defendant has one arrest cycle. Their last arrest was October 22nd, 2021 out of College Park for driving without a license. Nothing further to report.
Mr. Walker?
Your Honor. So in this case, law enforcement was dispatched to the incident location where they spoke to the victim, Mr. Eric Morgan. He's somebody who lived in the same household. Ms. Towles is reported to kick Mr. Morgan. We are asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, no contact with Mr. Morgan, 2-day anger awareness course, stay away from the incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. And I'll give you the court that location momentarily.
Mr. Ty?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 23 years old. She's the mother of 4 minor children. She's lived in Georgia all of her adult life. She graduated from Life Christian Academy. She was set to start a new job at 1-800-FLOWER. She does deny the allegations. I believe she had one arrest. Sorry, I didn't hear what pretrial said, but I would ask for a signature on bond through the jail because of the very limited criminal history. And a stay away from that address is fine. She doesn't live there, and no further contact is also fine, Your Honor.
Hey, did you get that location, Mr. Walker?
I'm still looking, Your Honor. My apologies.
Okay, no,
I'm still.
just wanted to tell her where she needs to stay away from. So it will be a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Mr. Morgan. Stay away from the incident location that I will articulate when we get it, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, yes,
And
you're welcome.
That location is 1921 Fremont Street.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to you, Ms. Towles.
Thank you.
So do we have anyone else that we need to address?
That should be it, Your Honor.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out Ms. Brumskin, but Mr. Walker said no.
I will send an email to the appropriate parties.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walker. All right, Ms. Bridgewater, whenever you are ready for us.
Okay, let's try this. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is February the 27th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a $3,000 good bond. Position 2, SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. 3, SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 4 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 5 is going to the SAP calendar with a $2,000 good bond. Position 6 is being reset till tomorrow. 7 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $5,000 good bond. 8, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 9, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 10, reset further notice with a total $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 11, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 12, reset further notice with a total $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 13, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 14 is reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial with a cosigner, Lanicia Mitchell. 15, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 16 is going to the SAP calendar with a $5,000 total good bond. Position 17 is reset further notice as the defendant has been released. 18, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. Position 19 is reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial, and the charge is public indecency. 20 is reset further notice with the $1,000 SOB through the jail. 21 is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through pretrial. 22, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 23, reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. 24, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through pretrial. On the add-on, is reset further notice with a $2,000 SOB through the jail. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
For position 19, I just want to see what I have a $2,000 SOB through pretrial.
What position is that, Judge?
That's what I
19.
have. That's what I have too, Judge. 2,000.
What
19.
is 2,000? Okay, I have 3, but if you say
Okay.
2,000, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Are there any others?
Doesn't appear so. Thank you. I appreciate everything, you all. We will see you next time.
And when will that be, Judge?
Next week. I've got the orchid trial starting tomorrow, so that's where I'll be.
Okay.
All
Take care,
right.
everyone.
All right, everybody stay dry.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.